Kegan Machine Gun Gennrich, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a former Wisconsin State champion as a wrestler. Also a D1 wrestler as well. So Gennrich with a long background and history as a grappler. He comes in with a pro record of 2 wins and 2 losses. And he is going to be going up against a hometown favorite in JT Schulte. And what is our fight right before the main event? And boy, he almost jumped the gun there and got by Jess for his final look-see before he goes into the cage. Gennrich, by the way, a big height advantage over JT Schulte, standing at 6'2", and Schulte at only 5'9". We'll see if he could use it to his advantage here in the cage tonight. Okay, there's Machine Gun Gennrich. Now, let's take a look at JT.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, JT Schulte.
Schulte is definitely a hometown hero as the tattoos continue to grow on the body. It wasn't that long ago that we saw hardly any ink on JT, and now his entire torso nearly covered. Almost everything but the midsection on JT is inked up. A record of 2-0 as a pro, as Schulte is ready now to step into the cage against Gennrich. We will head back into the cage ourselves and Ken.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Appleton, Wisconsin, representing Team FVGC, Kegan Machine Gun Gennrich. His opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing Chosen Few, JT Schulte.
I'd mentioned that Gennrich was a D1 state wrestling champion in Wisconsin. So was JT Schulte. And it, though, is a bit of a contrast in body types. If you take a look at Gennrich, kind of long and lean. Schulte is stout and compact. I don't think JT Schulte's ever missed leg day in the gym.
Nope, both guys are like 2% body fat for very, very different reasons. Both state champ wrestlers, probably both with different wrestling styles, so we'll see how that plays out tonight.
Starting on their feet and looking to strike, but I don't think it's going to stay there very long. We will see. It depends on strategy and what Schulte and Gennrich are both looking to do. Again, Gennrich with a record of 2-2, Schulte a 2-0 start to his professional career.
Good low kick so far from Schulte. He catches a body kick and has a lot of zip on his strikes. We're literally moving Gennrich. Good job avoiding there. If I was Schulte, I'd say you're feeling your striking. Maybe hop in, throw that jab, and then duck your head and let that overhand right go. But so far, he's just pecking on the outside as Gennrich looks to land a couple front kicks.
Good left by Gennrich, but then it was countered quickly by Schulte.
Good right hook. It kind of sent Gennrich going back. And this is what happens. You get 2 high-level grapplers. Neither one of them wants to lose position, so it turns into a striking match.
And that's what we are seeing so far, just over a minute into round number 1. Scheduled for 3 between Schulte and Gennrich. Gennrich, again, trying to go with that kick, follows it up with the straight left as Schulte looks like he got a little bit of damage on that right cheek.
Yeah, he caught a couple of hooks there, but again, Schulte throwing heat in there, and everything he lands seems to affect Gennrich, but I can't say the same for him, but Gennrich does seem to be landing a little bit more. And like you said, a little bit of a mouse underneath the right eye of Schulte, so clearly they're still doing damage.
Schulte trying to lead with the left, got caught with the right, and then a kick right into the midsection of Schulte as well, as you can kind of tell on his belly there and the abs that he is sporting. A little bit of red there, so he's got caught a few times, but now catches Gennrich with a right, and he's going to chase him around the cage. That did some damage.
Evan there, another overhand. Legs coming up the middle from Gennrich, but he seems a little bit wobbly, and that's the one place that Schulte's getting caught is he'll dive in there, land some shots, and then he pulls away and comes back with his hands down, allowing Gennrich to land something when he exits. If I'm Schulte or I'm in his corner, I'm saying stay inside, dirty box a little bit, make Gennrich move away from you and keep yourself in a good defensive posture so you can either defend and or strike back as Gennrich exits.
Absolutely. As you can see, when Schulte does get inside, he's got power behind those punches there. And again, he hurt Gennrich a little bit, but Gennrich right now seems to have cleared the cobwebs and is back to trading blows here. Good left by Gennrich to that cheek again of Schulte. Now some blood flying out of there between that exchange. Then another kick by Gennrich. Gennrich able to stay a distance a little bit here on Schulte, who now has blood coming from his nose.
Yep, Gennrich is doing a good job landing more volume. He's using his length very well, using his jab, long kicks, trying to just keep it, mix it up, keep Schulte away from him. Schulte's getting in, and he's maybe getting the more exciting exchanges, but, don't turn your nose up at a steady work rate. You can see it kind of building up here on Schulte. Gennrich just has to do a good job like this, dance around, stand outside, land a little bit here or there, and see if he can't drain the gas tank of Schulte, maybe take some of that power away with this steady work he's doing.
Schulte with that blood coming from the nose. He has opened up the mouth since that has happened, meaning that he's not getting any air through the nose, and now a stoppage here and a bit of a low blow as Schulte's going to have some time to compose himself. Nothing intentional, it happens. I mean, you're exchanging blows all the way, and it looks like Schulte had a glancing blow, but as we know, even a glancing blow can definitely slow you down. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, Gennrich, a longer guy, kicks coming from a different angle with an opponent that's that much shorter. It's one of those things that's really hard to avoid, especially if you're not two high-level strikers.
Boy, not the fight I thought I'd be calling right now, as I thought we would be on the mat for the entirety of this one. Instead, both grapplers are striking instead here in what has been a spirited round one.
Yeah, Gennrich kind of opening up now, landed that body kick better. He switches and stances. He threw an elbow on the feet. Schulte's still looking for the big bomb, but again, if I'm in his corner, I'm telling him, you might have to eat a jab or two to get in there, but stay in and land a couple, or nice big calf kick from Schulte. And that's something there. Follow that up with punches just like that. Beautiful work by Schulte.
Through the kick and then a left to the side of the head of Gennrich as Schulte scoring here in the final 30 seconds of round number one.
Yeah, that's a really close round because Schulte's had some big moments, but again, Gennrich with the steady work throughout the round, so it's going to be a really, really tough call for the judges.
Absolutely. Both guys doing damage. Schulte wearing some of his with that bloody nose and that goose egg that is swelling up on that right cheek, although I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was going to be earlier in the round. Another good kick right there by Gennrich that landed. Schulte's counter missed. Final 10 seconds now of round number one, as round one expiring and what has been a good one. Both grapplers stayed on their feet. Lots of striking, lots of action in our first round. We'll see if they can keep it up in round number two when we return to Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 20 on TVW. Taking a look at round number one, there was a good kick by Schulte, kind of taking Gennrich right off of his feet. As that was a close round, though. I thought we'd see a little bit more the replays of some of those blows that Gennrich landed, because he was landing throughout round number one, and you were using the word volume quite a bit. All that stuff adds up and usually adds up on judges' scorecards.
Absolutely, and it's going to pay dividends for him in the later rounds. It's going to wear a little more on Schulte. The one thing I did see for Schulte is not just the overhand, but every time that Gennrich is in the same stance as he is, Schulte can land that calf kick and almost take him off his feet. So that'd be something for him to look for in the second round.
Both guys will start round number 2 with their mouths open as they expended a lot of energy in round number 1. So conditioning, cardio can come into play here in these 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, again, Gennrich right away, long jab, using his movement, staying away. Schulte doing a better job, though, to his credit, closing distance, and now here he goes, going looking for something big.
Some of those hooks landing there for Schulte. Landed a good left and a short right hook as well. Gennrich using those kicks to keep Schulte away, and Schulte obviously with some power, and Gennrich has to stay away from that. Gennrich doing a good job of rolling the shoulder to keep away from those punches there from Schulte.
So the one thing Schulte's going to have to do if he wants to get the land, though, that uppercut overhand was a nice combo, and he hit the shoulder of Gennrich. That was a good return right there, but he's going to have to throw a couple more strikes, or when he comes in like that, he's going to have to find Gennrich when he runs. So either punch with him when he comes in where he landed there before, or he's going to have to throw a lot more volume.
And a big takedown from Schulte as both guys exchange blows, but then Schulte gets the first big takedown of the fight.
So Gennrich there trying to get a little more aggressive, opened himself up for a big double leg, and right away you see him stripping back, getting the elevator hooks, making space, getting right back to his feet, but Schulte staying in on him and on the feet, and that's exactly what he should be doing.
Schulte chasing Gennrich around the cage here in the second round as a good left there. Gennrich actually doing well when he jabs. I'm surprised we're not seeing more jabs from Gennrich.
Yeah, that's what Gennrich should be doing all night long, and that was good play calling by Schulte there. Kick the leg out and then keep swinging when they get back up. That's another thing he's got to do more. Punch with him when he comes in.
Now a lot of
don't
blood
worry about the kicks.
On Gennrich, both on his neck and arms. I'm not sure if Gennrich got cut on the shoulder or on the neck. It's a strange place. You usually don't see a cut there, but it looks like it might have been on his shoulder. Another takedown from Schulte, his second of this second round.
The second round's had a little bit of everything, and Schulte is really leaking now. There was a nice little straight, I couldn't tell if it was a left or a right, but a nice straight landed on the feet from Gennrich before that takedown. And
yeah, trying to figure out where this damage is coming from and this blood. Is it coming from Schulte?
No, that's coming from
from
Schulte.
Gennrich,
That's coming from Schulte on top. Those are his nose and his mouth.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
and a lot of blood here in the second round. I also
he's working for a triangle. That's very close. Oh, slipped out. Too sweaty. Good job by Schulte avoiding that. And again, as soon as we hit our back, you see Gennrich moving around. He's got those long limbs. He's looking up for like a little rubber guard type position, just kind of holding Schulte down, throwing up triangles, arm bars, getting very unique angles that's going to be hard for him to get out of because, let's face it, Schulte's just a little thicker and shorter, gives the advantage to Gennrich to get into these awkward positions and go for like these go-go platas, omoplatas, weird little triangles and stuff like that. And again, another rubber guard exchange where he's kind of just holding Schulte down in there, looking for another arm lock or a choke.
Both fighters bleeding from their noses profusely as they're, I mean, I tell you what, Gennrich is drenched in blood right now. He is crimson covered. Here's, we got 90 seconds to go in round number 2 as Schulte continues on top here, but it's hard to tell where all the damage is coming from.
Yeah, I think it's just coming from the nose of Schulte, but again, this is going to be another tough round to score because Schulte landed some good shots on the feet, so did Gennrich. But even off the 2 big takedowns, Gennrich has been the more active one on bottom, save that last little elbow. Gennrich has been on the offense, throwing up submissions, but Schulte's been on top, half controlling, half staving off submissions. So again, as close as it was on the feet, it's just as close on the mat.
And Schulte expending a lot of energy as well here in round number 2. Left hand is free by Gennrich. Got a couple of shots in, nothing of major consequence. Schulte now trying to use his powerful frame to kind of drive into Gennrich, but Gennrich doing a nice job of keeping him off.
Yeah, again, he was going for like that high little rubber guard type position. Just right there, keep shrimping back, getting his legs higher, looking for a wrist, manipulating the posture of Schulte, looking for that triangle again. But again, Schulte just slips out. There's too much sweat right now, and Schulte's too compact to keep in that position. So we see Gennrich again go for that underhook. He's going to try and land some strikes, throw that other leg up in there, and just kind of hold on and look for another arm lock or triangle.
Sweat, blood, snot, body fluids aplenty here in the second round. We got ourselves a good one. What a battle between Schulte and Gennrich. We're back for the third round right after this on TVW. Couple of big takedowns for JT Schulte, and there's one right there that happened in round number 2. Lots of damage done on both fighters as what was a very active, very, I guess, entertaining round number 2, especially for the fans who were into it. How do you score this fight so far, though, Gerald?
Man, this is a really, really close fight. That first round I have dead even. The second round, man, I couldn't really tell you because, again, it's pretty close. Both guys had their moments, and even though Schulte was on top, I'd say Gennrich was the guy looking for the finish a little bit more. So it's a toss-up at this point.
So here we go into round number 3. Another 5 minutes of this one. I think everybody approves of that as both guys starting out striking. We have seen that. That has been the predominant posture, if you will, for the first 2 rounds. Good kick by Schulte. Sent Gennrich down, but he's quickly back up.
Yeah, there. Good idea by Schulte. Like, kind of got stuck there. You want to maybe tenderize Gennrich a little bit more before you go back on top, and maybe see if you can't get him to go back to orthodox stance and work on that lead leg like this. That's where Schulte can land those leg kicks that's been so effective for him.
Both guys out here in round number 3, starting it a little bit slower than what we have seen in rounds number 1 and 2, and they both look like they have been in a war.
You see here, Gennrich doing a really crafty thing as a longer guy, reaching out, holding the glove of Schulte, and then hitting him. And Schulte, really good right back, jumps in with a jab, and that's where he's got to open up 2-3 more punches if he wants to really swing this fight to his favor.
Blood draining out of the nose of Gennrich right now as a couple of good lefts landed by Schulte in this round. Schulte also eats one right there on his left ear. Good right by Gennrich, and now there's another one of those kicks. Those kicks have been effective for Schulte.
Absolutely. Like I said, with Gennrich's orthodox, Schulte lands that kick to the lead leg, and it really, really seems to affect Gennrich. And this is another thing too, where the one thing I would change if I was if I was Schulte or in his corner, tell him don't lean away, just go forward. Even on those jabs, dive your head in, land some more strikes, stay on the inside where you can land something and make him run, and then you can kick him on the way out.
Yeah, right now at distance is to the advantage of Gennrich. Gennrich, by the way, believe has a cut as well.
Nice,
it's just to the side of his left eye, like by the nose there. So the blood not going into the eye of Gennrich at all. Good body shot from Schulte.
Saw a good flying knee attempt from Gennrich there, and even when he gets inside, Gennrich, for the tall guy, doing good clinch fighting, grabbing the back of the head, throwing some quick knees. Really good on the feet as far as his craftiness goes. He's throwing that high kick from the left stance to take away Schulte's power so he can't just unload that overhand right. And see, even there, he's kind of tentative with it because he's been taking so many shots on that side of his body.
Halfway through the third and final round here. Good left there by Gennrich as both guys pretty content to be striking here in the third round. We saw this basically throughout round number 1 and then round 2 and a bit of a mix as we saw the guys go to the mat. But right now, the volume of punches and kicks definitely a lot slower here in round number 3.
Right. I still got maybe a little bit of an edge for Gennrich in this fight just off of output. You know what I mean? There hasn't been a big moment yet. Maybe Schulte's got him a good one once, but that was a nice right cross from Gennrich, and he's just been a little more active and a little more accurate in this round than other rounds.
Schulte still trying to get inside. It's been more difficult here in the second round. That kick to that lead leg of Gennrich just missed there by Schulte. Man, oh man, is Schulte taking some damage when you take a look at his face.
There, and that's what Schulte needs to do, a little more of that. It's going to take a little bit, but you're the shorter guy. You got to stay inside. Yeah, get into the cage. And I might have stayed on the feet and swung those overhands a little bit more, but Schulte goes for that takedown. He's got about a minute 10 left. You know, he's going to have to get on top and really land some ground and pounder. Here, even just ditch the leg and start punching again. Dirty box on the inside where he can't run away from you.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Schulte right now is inside on him. This is where he wants to be. Why go down to the mat when you actually could be swinging? And Schulte does have some power behind those punches. Maybe you take him out. But right now they go down to the mat inside of a minute here for round number 3.
Oh, and here goes Schulte to come around to the back. Got that leg in to ride a little bit, but Gennrich right to his feet. And here would be a perfect position for Schulte to let go. But now Gennrich doing a good job defending, getting back up, looking for elbows, just making it difficult. Looking to hit that switch, couldn't quite get it. And Schulte doing a little good job controlling a little late in the round. I don't know if it's going to make up for all that striking, but
final 10 seconds here if he wants to steal this round. Now would be the time. Get those hands free and start throwing them.
Yeah, Gennrich's doing a good job just keeping him off balance, off bottom, but this is where you'd have to just posture up and go, but too little, too late for the control, in my opinion, in that 3rd round, but man, those first 2 were so close. We'll see what the judges say.
A bloody battle waged here at Monona Terrace. We will get the decision when we return on TVW. Packed house here at Monona Terrace as we are awaiting the decision between JT Schulte and Kegan Gennrich. What a fight it was. And it's one of those fights, Gerald, where I think that you don't know what the judges are going to go with. It could be a split decision. It could be a unanimous decision. It could be a draw. Nothing would surprise me.
Absolutely. They're really evenly matched everywhere. The fight went everywhere.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round
let's
of
see what
applause
happens.
for these 2 warriors. We go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Brandon Mason scores this contest, 29-28, Gennrich. Larry Struck calls this contest, 29-28, Schulte. And Gabe Sabatis calls this contest, 29-28, for your winner by split decision, Kegan Gennrich.
A split decision as Gennrich gets the victory, much to the chagrin of this sellout crowd here at Monona Terrace. Schulte gets his first loss. He falls to 2-1. Let's hear from the victorious Kegan Machine Gun Gennrich.
Yeah, that was a great fight. I've known Jordan for a long time, back from high school wrestling. So much respect for him and his team. Hey, we've both been doing this our whole lives since we've been fine, so.
Come on, guys.
Why are they
Come
booing
on, this
him?
is the fight game. This is the fight game.
I think
You
there's
never
been
let it go
one
to the
too many
judges.
adult beverages for the crowd
You
tonight.
never let
Rich.
it go to the judges.
Wow, so yeah, I don't understand why they're booing him. Great fight by both fighters. Gennrich is victorious. That's what happens when it goes to the scorecards. It's no one's gonna like it. Usually is how that happens. So JT Schulte loses, and we are gonna head now to our main event when we get back. The return of Alton Cunningham right after this on
The main thing
TVW.
about Marshall.